everybody. It is another Saturday Talk December edition. So basically this month is basically it's the month for holiday season. So I wanted to start off obviously just acknowledging that. We have Christmas coming up, we have Hanukkah, then we have Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa, actually every year I do acknowledge it. There's 7 days just because Kwanzaa, it's basically about celebrating African heritage, unity, and culture. I know that for all 7 days they have different meanings. I know that with the first day is about unity, the second one is self-determination, the third is collective work and responsibility. Then you have cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and then they end with faith. So it really kicks off the day after Christmas, and then it leads up to the first of the year. So it's really fun. I usually love just kind of just acknowledging it, or at least just celebrating it in my own way. But it's more of like a culture-based holiday, which I think is really awesome. So yeah. So starting off with cultural highlights, considering that since we're talking about that. So we have on the 2nd of this month, which was, I believe, Wednesday. That was International Day of the Abolition of Slavery. So, yay! I'm not a slave. I love freedom. I love my freedom. So I'm glad of that. We celebrate that. The 5th of the month is International Volunteer Day for Economic and Social Development. So the 5th is a day to just acknowledge, to volunteer, to get involved, do things, social economic development. Yeah, I don't know what you really do, that on that day. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things you may or may not be doing, but tell me if there's something that you guys do for this particular international holiday. Let me know how you do that, how you celebrate that, or how you get involved. Yeah, leave that in the comments. And then the 10th is Human Rights Day. So that is a very important day to acknowledge. Yeah, a very important day to acknowledge the fact that we have human rights. We're still working on that in some cases when it comes to equality, because I know that there's a lot of things going on where we're trying to get to equality, but we have human rights. They exist. Okay. And then on the 18th, we have 2 holidays coming up, actually. They have Arabic Language Day. I actually only know 2 words in Arabic. I know Salam Alaikum, which I believe is hello. And then I know Shukram, which is thank you. And I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. I really wanted to learn Arabic at one point. I still do. I just know that it's a whole other way of reading. So it's intimidating. Cross your fingers, we'll get to it. I really hope I get able to get to it. So yeah. And then also on that same day, it's International Migrants Day. So America being a place made up of immigrants, the only people native here are Native Americans. Everyone else came from somewhere else, whether you were brought here on a boat, or whether you were brought here in chains, or you were brought here for whatever reason. We're all migrants. So International Migration Day. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much our cultural highlights for the week. So now I'm going to get on to our recommendations. Okay, so we're going to start off with recommendations with this segment. I have a few things, a couple of books I really wanted to share with you. One being Buy the Change You Want to See in the World. Oh, no, it's called Buy the Change You Want to See. It is by Jane Mosbacher Morris. I am not sure if I'm saying her name correctly, but that's her name. You can look that up. And basically, this book is about consumer power, because a lot of times when people think, okay, people think that they have to do something like earth-shattering to save the planet or something like that. It's like, it really boils down to individual habits. She talks about different aspects of your purchases that you can change so that you get what you want to purchase, but also not negatively affect the planet or other people. Being ethical. She even gives a lot throughout. She gives resources about companies that are doing certain things that support impoverished countries and helping them find jobs. I mean, I found out that in Haiti, apparently it's easier for a parent to give up their child to orphanages than it is to get a job. And that's a very big economic problem, especially with earthquakes and diseases and things like that. That's really, it's bad. So it's like being able to, it really just shows you how she's been able to travel to certain places and being able to communicate with people and find ways to create her company to the market, which is basically about supporting ethical businesses. Especially, I mean, just be honest with you, when you give money to a company, not only are you supporting that company, you're also supporting any types of code of ethics or practices that they have. If you know for a fact that certain companies are, I don't know, they're supporting what's a good example? Oh yeah, like for example, they're always using cheap labor, because a lot of countries, poorer countries, they don't really know how to negotiate fair trade prices. They basically are just like, I will take whatever I can get for this product. And people exploit that. So basically she talks about, looking at companies and being able to switch your purchases to where you get what you need, but then you're also supporting ethical practices. Because people think, like I said, people just think that you have to do something earth-shattering to change the planet. And a lot of times it just has to do with everyone individually doing small things. So that's a really great one to just learn how to change your consumer buying habits so that you can get, as I said, get what you need and support, the planet and people. Another one is Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. I did recommend last week her book, The Gift of Imperfections. That is a great book. As well as Daring Greatly. I love all her books because she talks about vulnerability and how to use vulnerability to build relationships. She also talks about the fact, in a lot of her books, she talks about basically looking at ourselves in the mirror and actually be able to confront our self-image issues. There's a lot of times where our vulnerabilities lie is just us being us. It's like we're, I mean, as a human being, it's like sometimes we're afraid to say something or afraid to do certain things because we feel like we're going to be judged for it. And so she really just helps you confront certain things. It's not like follow these steps and, you'll achieve self-confidence. It's more of like hey, I'm going to call out, I'm going to pull apart all these different things that people are insecure about. And I'm going to basically encourage you to use this to be self-aware and being able to accept who you are and being able to use that to build relationships, and much more. That's the main thing that I get from it. But basically I believe that sometimes she makes me cry. I'm like, she just literally just said something that is just like relatable to me, in the sense of vulnerability. So I strongly recommend you check that out. Another aspect of recommendations I have are podcasts. I love podcasts because it's just like you can you can do anything and then listen to it at the same time. A podcast that I really like right now, I actually just discovered it. It is Bill Gates and Rashida Jones Ask Big Questions. It is right now, I think they have their 3rd episode out, but basically it's just they interview interesting people and they talk about different things. Like they talk about life after the pandemic. They talked about inequality. They talked about why people believe lies. And you just kind of, I mean, it's a great, like, interesting podcast. It just makes you think. It's part of the philanthropic part of our organization, so to speak. And then another podcast, if you are an Italian learner, I discovered this one through Spotify. I ended up putting this on our website so that simply because I just thought that it was great. It really was. So there's that. And it's called Speak Italiano, Pensieri e Parole. So it is a very good podcast because it's teaching you at a fairly reasonable pace. And then you're also learning, the language, you're learning to immerse yourself. I think learning the language is one thing, but it's like you have to immerse yourself or else it has to be surrounding you in order for it to be fully graspable. Because, I mean, to be honest with you, if you're learning it, you're not listening to it and you're not applying it and it just doesn't stay. You know, it's like I'm more of like a practical person when it comes to learning a language. I like to learn it in the practical way and how it's used, and hearing it and having it surrounding me all the time. So basically, the person that speaks in this podcast, she is talking about literature and history and culture in Italian, of Italy. So basically, you can look at that and you can listen to that. They're relatively short. They're maybe about 15 to 20-minute episodes. Basically, you learn a lot. If you're fully paying attention, you can learn a lot. If you're a beginner, it might be challenging because if you're not fully aware, or you're not fully you're not at a certain level when it comes to comfort, or a lot of what am I trying to say? I think it's like when you're not at a certain level of comfortability, understanding, with listening comprehension. But it's a great way that in between your lessons, or if you're studying, to be able to just actually hear it. Just train your brain to get used to hearing that language, if that makes sense. So for my Italian learners, this is a really good one. Yeah. And then, so teaching. So the theme around what I want to teach you guys in each language is basically centered around giving. It's the season for giving. So I'm going to basically teach you in just about every language I know on how to basically give someone something, so these are some phrases that I came up with. So in French, if you want to say like, I have a gift for you, I hope you like it or you enjoy it, you can say, j'ai un cadeau pour toi, j'ai un cadeau pour toi, j'espère que tu le profiteras. I hope that you will enjoy it. Profiter basically means to enjoy. It's like, to profit of something. So it's like saying, I want you to profit off of the gift that I just gave you. Yeah. J'ai un cadeau pour toi. J'espère que tu le profiteras. Okay, and then Spanish. So we're going to move on to that one. So the phrase I have for you is, tengo un regalo por ti. Espero puedes disfrutarlo. It's basically the same thing in French, but it basically just means I have a gift for you. I hope that you enjoy it. Disfrutar is really interesting. It's like, because profiter makes sense in French, but I'm like, disfrutar, I'm like, I don't know, the association is weird, but yeah, that's the word that is used. And then German, Deutsch, ich habe etwas für dich. Es ist ein klein Dinger. This basically means I have something for you. It is a little thing. Like it's a little something. It's kind of like, it's like if you're giving someone something, it's like, I have something for you. It's a small thing. It's a small thing. Because sometimes people tell me that, or we're like, oh, it's a small thing, and then it's like, oh, actually, it's something you really wanted, or something like that. It's something random. Yeah. And then the next one is Italiano. So I have, c'è una cosa da me a te. Da me a te. Yeah. C'è una cosa da me a te. So this one means I have something. It says it's a. Okay. Yeah. It means it is a thing from me to you. It's like it's something from me to you. Actually, no. I think that would be qualcosa. Yeah, because or is that Spanish? I get these confused. This is how you know that you're multilingual, is when you get everything confused and you're like second guessing. Yeah, so you can fact check that if you want for me. Actually, it's fact checked on the screen because I like to make sure I'm not spreading lies. No lies. No. So everything's fact checked on the screen because I'm going to check that. But yeah, c'è una cosa da me a te. So it's like I have a thing from me to you. Okay. And then Portugués. So this one I got, I created this sentence for you guys. Eu quero dar uma presente especial a você. It means I want to give a special present to you. I want to give you a special present. So yeah, I don't know. It's like, hey, you know, I just wanted to give this to you. Like, so you're something, you know, and you're so excited about giving someone something. It's like, oh, eu quero dar uma presente. Yeah, you don't even have to put especial. You can just say, I have a present. A voce, you know, for you, to you, so to say. Okay, Nederlands. Okay. So this one I have. Ik heb een geschenk voor je, omdat je heel speciaal voor me bent. Yeah. Je bent, sorry. Je bent. My handwriting's weird. Yeah. So basically, this means I have a present. Geschenk is also the same thing in German, and German and Dutch are very similar. So it means a present. So it's like, so basically this is like, I have something for you. I have a gift for you, and it's as special as you are. Yeah. So just something like, I don't know, just something sweet to just say to somebody. It's like, oh, I'm just giving you this present because it is, hope it's special as you are. Something like that. So, yep. And then lastly, català. Català, I have to work harder to be able to create sentences with this language, because it is my 8th language. It is the one that I speak the least of, but I still want to share it because it is a language. I was curious about it originally, and then I learned it out of curiosity, because it's like Italian, Spanish, and French in one language. So yeah. So what I have for you is, es una cosa petita para tú. Es una cosa petita para tú. It means it's a little something for you. So those are the language phrases I want to teach you guys today. Yeah. So this video, it's for entertainment purposes. I'm actually going to have the full video posted in about a couple of weeks, but it's just basically a fun video to show you signs of being multilingual. So basically, this is for comedic. It's a comedic video, but it's basically, I'm going to give you like a short sneak peek of that, because it's real. Multilingualism is real. Yeah, actually, next month is a new year, so I will see you next year with this segment. Aujourd'hui, j'ai beaucoup de choses je veux. Okay, aujourd'hui, je vais parler sur le sujet de... I was supposed to be speaking Spanish. So apparently, for some reason, my phone changed to Italian. My phone was originally in French, but then all of a sudden I woke up and it was in Italian, and I was just thinking, I don't remember changing this setting, but I don't know, either way it doesn't matter because I understand it. So I mean, I'm just going with it. So I made a new friend today. He's from Portugal. So my friend from Italy. So I have this Belgian friend. So my German friend. Wait, so my Dutch friend. So I met this girl from Colombia. Okay, so first of all, it's oh la la, not ooh la la. And you say oh la la when something bad happens. It's like, you know, like when you say like, oh my gosh, or like darn it, or whatever. Yeah. So you're going where? Okay, so we're going to Japan this summer. Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, wait, you speak Japanese, right?
Yeah, I don't speak Japanese.
I thought you speak every language.
I speak Latin-based languages, okay? Latin-based. Latin and Germanic-based. I don't speak every language, okay?
Oh, and by the way, you know, like when you just said kaput, that's actually German. It actually means broken. So look at that. You're speaking some German. Good for you. You go, Glen Coco. I just changed my phone settings to Spanish or whatever, just because, yeah. So typically, like, because I went to Mexico last year, so I changed my phone in Spanish because I needed to be prepared. And then, also I changed my phone to French when I went to study abroad in Paris. Yeah, it's easy. Denn meine Freundin hat mir gesagt, das ist nicht deiner Käse. Das ist Nacho Cheese. Weil das klingt der Satz in Englisch, not your cheese. Nicht dein Käse. Ne? Verstehst? Oh, ok. La blague, c'est mon ami m'a dit c'est pas notre fromage, c'est pas ton fromage, parce que c'est comme la phrase en anglais, not your cheese, not your cheese, not your cheese. T'as compris?
Joke's not funny.